Have the Edmonton Oilers found their secret weapon following a huge Game 5 win in Los Angeles last night, putting the LA Kings on the brink of elimination? Fantastic game from the Oilers start to finish last night, and we will recap every single bit of that from last night's contest. You want stats? We got stats, folks. I'll tell you exactly how dominant these Oilers were, and we also have some more stats here. 75% of you watching these videos have not yet subscribed to the channel, so if you're new here, if you love the Oilers, any and all Oiler content, make sure you stay tuned here to Oilers Digest as we continue on to the first round. Not just a recap, but also a preview for tomorrow night's game number 6, or a mini preview, I should say. We'll have a full one for you tomorrow, but for now, let's recap last night's game. Jan marks the spot as the Oilers roll into LA, one of the toughest buildings to win a game in all year long, and the Oilers do exactly that, winning 3-1 and pushing the LA Kings to the brink with a 3-2 series lead. We expected, the normal dominance from Draisaitl, McDavid, and Bouchard, but no, it was the depth helping out the Edmonton Oilers last night in the first period. The Oilers putting 19 shots on Darcy Kuemper, the only reason the Kings were in this game, and why the score was only 2-1 before Ryan Nugent-Hopkins added an empty netter. But in the second period, Andrei Kuzmenko tipped in a shot from Andrei Kopitar, opening up the scoring there on the power play, the dreaded Kings power play that the Oilers, for most of the series have not found an answer for. But Evander Kane there, following an Oilers power play there, didn't count as a power play goal, fires a shot on Darcy Kuemper, goes off the foot of Vladdy Gavrikov, and makes it 1-1, assisted there by John Klingberg, who himself has been having a phenomenal series since he inserted into the lineup. But in the third period, breaking the deadlock is the janitor, Mattias Janmark, for his second goal of the playoffs there. The Oilers' depth scoring coming in clutch there, and like I mentioned, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins putting the seal on the deal there for the Oilers to make it a 3-2 series lead. Phenomenal game. I mean, the score was 3-1, but it could have been, 6-1 Oilers, could have been 8-1 Oilers. Darcy Kuemper was phenomenal between the pipes last night, but the Oilers got the job done, and they broke through. Zach Hyman saying, I don't remember the last time we played a good game as that. It was still a nail biter. We found something in the last game and carried it over into this game. And like I said, a phenomenal first period by the Oilers last night, just unable to beat Darcy Kuemper before those opening 20 minutes were up. We were able to throw out any line against any matchup. We were a pretty balanced attack there. Shots on goal 46-22 in favor of the Oilers. Faceoffs 32-24 in favor of the Kings. The only downside to last night's game was, of course, the special teams. LA going 1 for 3 on their power plays, and then the Oilers going 0 for 2. But you know what? That's something that can always be, fixed in the next game there. The Oilers power play is not as dry as it once was in the first 2 games there, but the Oilers and Evan Bouchard, especially the Bouchard on those power plays and the special, trick plays that the Oilers are setting up when they are entering the King zone. Not a worry about that whatsoever. The key is just stopping Adrian Kempe and the rest of the LA Kings, and Andrei Kuzmenko and the rest of them too. Of course, 27th ranked power play during the regular season, but then in the first 3 games, I should say, the Kings power play wreaked havoc on these Oilers. But in a long series, this would favor the Oilers. The Kings running 9 forwards and 4 defensemen. That's not going to help you throughout the playoffs, let alone the first round when it's a stamina battle. It is a marathon, not a sprint there, and the Oilers on money pucks deserve to win O-meter. Like I said, just dominating the LA Kings, 93.7% to LA's 6.4% there, and the scoring chances swarming Darcy Kuemper all night long. Meanwhile, the Kings, they were in front of Cal Pickard for a good chunk of the night, but not to the extent of the Oilers just firing anything and everything on net there to just try to wear Darcy Kuemper down. The expected goals percentage, the entire team is above 50% there. You don't see that too often from these Edmonton Oilers. Meanwhile, the Kings, you have to look at below 40% expected goals to see any of those names, but just, an offensive explosion, or what could have been an offensive explosion if it wasn't for Darcy Kuemper, but just wave after wave, and these are what these Oilers do. They flip a switch, and then they just come at you in waves. Total, complete domination. It's just just shocked at how Darcy Kemper managed to, fend off these Oilers for as long as he did there. The high danger scoring chances at the far right of this chart here, 29-7 in favor of the Oilers. The Oilers, outchancing the Kings on the shot chart, 78-51 in terms of shot attempts and 63-36 in terms of unblocked shot attempts there. And like I said, the shots on goal at 5-on-5, or the entire game, I should say, 46-19. So the Oilers just, just when you thought, they were down and out after game 2, this is what they do to us. They can never make it easy on the fan base, but, year after year, these Kings just find a way to try to solve these LA Kings. And from Mike Kelly here says, what a game 5 performance from the Edmonton Oilers. Most net front shots and highest goal probability in a regulation time game in the last 9 playoff years. You can see there's 17 inner slot shots, ranked first since 2016-17, and expected goals 8.20. Yes, the Oilers, analytically 8 expected goals. We haven't seen anything like that since, game 4 of the Cup final last year, where the Oilers did put, I do believe, 5 on Sergei Bobrovsky, and then the other 3 there on Anthony Stolarz there. So, yeah, I mean, 8 expected goals, but only 2 let in by Darcy Kemper. Just phenomenal. 3.87 goals saved above expected. When you see something like that, that normally determines that Darcy Kemper goalied the Edmonton Oilers, but no, it was the other way around there. Don't want to say, Cal Pickard out-goalied Darcy Kemper. That's not the storyline whatsoever, but Cal Pickard had to do his job, and he did his job very well. Gave the Oilers confidence in front of him. Ever since, Cal Pickard came in relief of Stuart Skinner, he's just led the team to, do their thing and not be as scared. I mean, I've sort of noticed the difference between the way the Oilers play in front of Cal Pickard as opposed to Stuart Skinner. Like I said, they just come wave after wave, just more confidence, and just a team willing to destroy anything in their way. Like I said, Cal Pickard, a .955 save percentage there, coming from the guy, 33 years old, but just, Evander Kane said, age is just a number. Pix has done a great job for us all year, staying ready, staying sharp. The moment never seems to be too big for him. They're pressing at the end, had a great save there at the end on the wraparound by, I do believe it was Kevin Fiala. And Cal Pickard, again, just stood tall. He's standing solid in the crease. He's coming into this series and has been a big boost and has done an incredible job for us. Not just, Cal Pickard, but you can see there Evander Kane at the top, or near the top, of the hockey stat chart from last night's game. Tried combining 2 words into the one. Didn't really work out for me, but what worked out for the Edmonton Oilers was, defensive side, they locked in, bought into that system all game. You can see there on the left side into the negatives from, guys like, Corey Perry, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. Their offense was in the negatives last night, which is very weird, but like I said, no one really had a weak game, barring maybe Darnell Nurse, who's had a really poor playoffs up to this point there, but just a complete buy-in there. And from the Oilers, when they have their mind set to something, they can get pretty much anything done. Just looking at the back end here, Jake Wallman, fantastic game. He's finding his footing here ever since returning from the injury. 73% Corsi 4 percentage. John Klingberg has just got more better by the game as each game passes. John Klingberg looking like the John Klingberg of old. Evan Bouchard, phenomenal game from him last night. Brett Kulak, Ty Emberson with a mere 7 minutes played there, 5-on-5. But he's just finding his footing. But again, the only blind spot here from the Oilers is just Darnell Nurse. I mean, not the worst stats, but also you're expecting a little more out of him there. But Evan Bouchard, tremendous play last night. This would have been a goal there by Anze Kopitar. But, Evan Bouchard, as nonchalant as he is in the D zone, sometimes made a phenomenal play to knock that puck away from Anze Kopitar and prevent a scoring chance. So, hey, for all the Bouchard haters out there, he does play defense sometimes. But, I mean, we all love the guy for his offensive capabilities and the way he can take over any game in the O zone. But not just the defense, but also, the offensive lines there. Like Zach Hyman said, they were able to roll out, any line against any LA King line. The LA Kings trying to line match, but the Oilers not backing down from any, obstacle in their way. The Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, Evander Kane line, very solid. But, it was the Arvidsson Yamark in Podkolzin on line, 2 dogs on the puck there with Yamark in Podkolzin and Victor Arvidsson. Still hasn't really made his mark here in this series. Hopefully he can make a mark in Game 6 against his former team to, fully put them inside the grave there as they try to dig the LA Kings within yet a fourth straight playoff series loss to the Oilers. But we can't count our chickens before we hatch, folks. There's still a game 6 to be played. But just taking a look at Matisse Janmark, I mean, like I mentioned in the intro, could be, the secret weapon here for the Oilers, not just, in the regular season, but also in the playoffs. In the regular season, he was more so known for his PK abilities. Of course, I said in yesterday's episode I would have rather them scratch Janmark and go 11-7, but he made me eat my words there. Playoff Janmark is a real thing, folks. You can see there last year with the Oilers 23-24, 71 games played, 4 goals scored, and then in 25 games played in the playoffs, scored 4 goals, and then 80 games, 2 goals, and then in 5 games he's already matched his season high for the Oilers with 2 goals. So playoff Janmark, I mean, you got to sleep with one eye open when this guy is around. He is just a dog on the puck. And again, ate my words. Don't take Janmark out of the line because you never know what you're gonna get from him game in, game out. There, I mean, he's a great guy to like. I mean, no disrespect to Matisse Janmark. Phenomenal work ethic there on the ice, and during the playoffs he can give you some pretty big goals. We saw it last year in the cup final there with that tremendous PK with him and Connor Brown, sort of the dynamic duo for the Oilers. But he says, I think the feeling was really there after the first period that we're outplaying them. We got them where we want, and how we just got to keep pushing the gas, and even when they scored, to try to get back, and Canada got it right back with that goal, and away we went. These are the moments that keep you going. I had a funny feeling when Game 70 hit, and I only had 1 or 2 goals. I knew I wasn't going to have a career year. I had a feeling it might show up in the playoffs there. Kris Knoblauch, never gave up on Matisse Janmark all season long. Says he likes the competition. He likes the playoff atmosphere. Some guys fade when the stakes are high. Other guys raise the game. Janmark is definitely a guy that raises his game. Hopefully the Oilers can take that momentum into Game 6 tomorrow night in Edmonton in front of that loud Oil Country crowd. We will need every single one of you to get on your feet and cheer these Oilers in Game 6 as the job's not finished. I know many Kings fans are writing off this series. The Game 6 was going to be, an automatic loss. But, the Oilers, they've always made a way of making things interesting there. But Zach Hyman definitely believes in this team. When we were down 2-0, everybody pretty much wrote us off. We didn't look great in the first 2 games, didn't look great in the third game for 2 periods. But I think we just rely on our experience as a group. If you just don't go away, if you keep believing, you give yourself a chance to win, and they've given themselves a chance to win with these performances in the past 2 games there. Oilers, Kings in Edmonton tomorrow night, May 1st, 9 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Mountain there on Hockey Night in Canada. The Oilers find a way to get past the LA Kings for the 4th year in a row and hopefully send them into a tumble. But like I said, fingers crossed. Start planning the parade. You got to get past the first round. No matter how many demons the LA Kings are facing, the Oilers are always in a way to, again, make things interesting. But that is it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments regarding last night's game. Are there any lineup changes you'd like to see in next game? If you were the coach, what would you do? I'm very interested to see if you keep things the same, or if you sort of change things up to give the Oilers a little more depth, top to bottom in the lineup there. But tomorrow we'll have a preview for tomorrow's important game, extremely important game for the Oilers, because of course if they do lose, knock on wood here, Game 7 back in LA again, a very tough rink to win in. But again, I think they will get the job done. The Oilers are always great when they have a chance to clinch a playoff series. But take care. Again, if you're new to the channel, folks, make sure you subscribe here for any and all Oiler content. Take care. Have a great rest of the day, folks. I'm Matt.